Well, hello everyone. Great to see you. Yeah, Jan, Damaris, Kurt, Katsurita, Janine. Yes, great to see you because for a good bit of today, wasn't sure I was going to get to see any of you on at least Facebook because it was a crazy Facebook day today. I'm sure some of you may have noticed that. Uh, yeah, I think Facebook went down around a little before noon Eastern time, and it was offline for a good, I think, 6 hours or so, close to it. Yeah, about somewhere between 5 and 6 hours. I'm not quite sure exactly, and I think it varied depending on where you were. But yeah, it was a bit nuts. And for a large company like that, whose livelihood greatly depends on being online, that's pretty huge. I'm really looking forward to reading what the cause was of that, if it was internal, external, or what. But yeah, definitely going to cause some issues. I wore this shirt in honor of Facebook today. So yes, there you go. It's fine. Everything is fine. So yes, just they really should have put that up right when they got back online on their main page. I think it's going to be their new motto. Just saying. Just saying. Yeah, it's an interesting Facebook day to say the least. Yeah, Katsurita, that could be the shirt of the last 2 years. I've been wearing it a bit. I'm not gonna lie. It has been a general motto for me for a while, and yeah, I've definitely been saying it's fine, everything's fine, a lot for the last year and a half. Not gonna lie, not gonna lie. But yes, for those of you that didn't notice about Facebook, that's what was going on, and it wasn't just Facebook. It was also WhatsApp and Instagram and a few other pages and services that are related to Facebook. So yeah, it was a pretty big deal. Pretty big deal. Oh, and hey, Alicia's here too. Great to see you. Glad you joined us. Yeah, I know it's always difficult for her because she has to get off work and rush to make it on time. So that's always a pleasure to see you. So yes. Oh, and I have some other news too. So good stuff. That sign I told you about last week came in, and I'm very happy with it. So here you go. You can kind of see it right here. Yeah, right. I'm actually really happy with it. It's I think, yeah, I mean, you can tell it's obviously fabric as opposed to vinyl or something like that, and you can kind of see the back is very bright white. So I'm really glad I put a a background color on it. So yeah, and the lettering and everything, the quality of the print is very good. Even my drop shadows that I spent a lot of time trying to get right on each on each part really came out. You can really see it on the green. You can see that little touch of black on the slight drop shadow, and I love it. I'm very happy. So this is going to go on my pack basket and on the back of it, and not too bad. If you're curious, the price came to about $40, which honestly, not that bad. Not that bad. I'm okay with it. This was more of a test just to see if this is even viable, a good option for some of the larger signs. Something like this I could do myself. It would take me a bit of time to do it, but I could. But some of the larger stuff I want to do, I don't know if I have that amount of time because, like I said before, I'm not an artist. So for me, it takes 10 times the amount of time minimum than it would somebody who's a professional artist or even a hobbyist artist in that regard. So yeah, I think for the price, this works pretty well. Yeah, I think the question is how long will it last? But at that price, even if I just switch it out every year, not bad. So I'm happy. So a good experiment. Always nice when something works out, right? Always good. Woo. Oh yeah, I could have tea stained it. Worst case, possibly, but I was worried about doing something afterwards, Alacia, because the lettering, I wasn't sure how that would affect that, and I didn't want that to cause problems. I mean, their printing process, I don't know what ink style they're using, how they were printing. I really didn't know any of that, so I worry about making it not quite look as good. Now, when I first got it, it was a little on the shiny side, a little glossy. So yeah, that bothered me a little bit because it made it look a little less rugged, less authentic, I guess I'll say. But I put it in the washing machine, let it air dry afterwards, and that got rid of most of that glossy aspect. So now I think it just looks pretty good. Um, right, Jack. Yeah, yeah, the traditional one. Yeah, that's. I have a feeling that just being on my pack basket during the day, the sun's going to age it fairly quickly on its own. So I don't think that's going to be a problem. I think give it a couple of months outside, and it's gonna do fine. The question is how long it's gonna last. I mean, the material seems strong, so I think as long as I don't beat it up too bad, I think it might last a while. I'm kind of curious, so I'll keep you updated on that. Uh, and Damaris, yes, you're not the first person to suggest dragging it through the dirt. So we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to quite go that far. I did that with my hat, but I don't know if I'm going to do it with that. We'll see. We'll see. I'm sure, like I said, it'll get messed up on its own. So you're right. But yeah, that was interesting. So yeah, okay. Let's see. Aside from that, I did want to share a cool article that I saw that I came across several days ago that I found very interesting. Now, I know some of you probably saw the episode I did several weeks ago about the history of mead, where somebody was trying old recipes, old mead recipes, and making them in a very traditional way from medieval times to see how different it was than modern mead. And it was a bit different. And I found that really fascinating. It seemed like y'all did too. But I happened to notice an article based on a paper that was released in a journal that was about the history of gunpowder. And I found that really interesting. Apparently, some scientists and historians got together at West Point and used their testing grounds with a replica 15th century cannon, like you do, and researched and got over 20 different recipes from around the middle 1300s to the middle 1400s, around through that time, and tested them all to check their relative heats of combustion and their reaction rates to just see what the difference was and how it evolved. And I found that really interesting. I know that us being the total history nerds that we are and loving Renaissance fairs, that everybody probably knows how gunpowder is made and the ingredients, saltpeter, charcoal, and sulfur. So yes, I mean, saltpeter I affectionately call potassium nitrate, but that's just me. Yes. So, who, me, Alicia? Nerd? I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know. I know, Drew. That is very true. That, the TRF artillery collection, I am aware that you are a total combustion nerd. So, actually, let me see. I don't know if Alicia has easy access to that. So, let me see if I can get that article up. Good question. I don't think I have it handy. We'll try to share that later. But yes, it was very interesting. They found the thing I think that was the most striking from their findings was you would expect the gunpowder to just get better with time. Higher combustion, quicker reaction rates, that kind of thing. But Jack, corn and serpentine. The article talks about that. They did include some of that in the testing. You'll be happy to know. So yes, they did, as a matter of fact. But what they found was that it actually got less potent for the first 60 years of the time range they went through, and it was interesting because their opinion about why that was because it was insanely dangerous, and the cannons they used when they first started not as good as the ones they used later, and the life expectancy of the gunners back then not that great. It was dangerous. It was very dangerous. So what they did was they actually made it less powerful initially just a little less and less and less till about 1400. Then they started to go the other way and try to find that right balance between safety and effectiveness. So yeah, I mean, kind of interesting that Renaissance times, safety was a huge concern. Yeah. I mean, you'd think everybody swinging swords and maces around all the time, but no. Safety was a huge concern even back then. So much so that they did a lot of research on that and messed with formulas to try to make it more safe. But, gunpowder wasn't the only thing that evolved in that time. The cannons and everything did too. They got better themselves. So it makes sense that after 1400 they'd start saying, I think we can go a little more with this. So yeah, very interesting stuff. Really good article. So, oh wait, I think, yes, I think I do know where I can share that. Here we go. Yes, here we go. I do have it handy. I did put it aside. So here we go. Here's a little link to that. Hopefully that will go through and not cause an issue. There we go. If you're interested in reading more about that, check out that. I found it good. And Kurt, you're right. No good if you blow up your cannon. In fact, there's a song that has a line about that. I believe it was Johnny Horton, The Battle of New Orleans, that talks about that very thing, but that's a side thing. I did know that would get your attention. I totally did, because I knew this would be a thing. Some more than others. Different topics that you'd see at a Ren Fair matter more to different people. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about Ren Fair. Everybody has their niche, their interesting aspect of it. I mean, you can love everything, but you can also focus, and that's fine. And Damaris knew the song reference Poor Alligators from the Battle of New Orleans song. And Janine too. Excellent. Glad to hear. It's not just me. But yeah, anyway, just a nice article, something interesting about history, and you learn a little bit about gunpowder too. So something to check out. And it's not a long read, so just something fun to check out in your spare time. So take a look. Definitely. Okay, well, let's jump in and take a look at upcoming fairs this weekend because, we have a few. We do. We're back up to 18 fairs, and it's going to be a bit like that for a while now going into the fall because this is primo weather for Ren fairs now. Not too hot, not too cold. So everybody loves putting a Ren Fair out at this time of year. So take a look. And we added a few down in the south in Oklahoma and Texas. A lot of the others are same as last week. So we've kind of started into that whole fall time, and we'll get a few more added here too in the next few weeks. But this is a great time. and now they're quoting the the song, "The Battle of New Orleans." Yeah, I always liked that song. I always thought that was a fun one. If I thought I could get away with singing it at fair, I probably would, but it's just not quite the right time period. Yeah, it's not quite. No, but definitely a fun song. So okay, let's take a look at the fairs we have this weekend. Still the Carolina Renaissance Festival is going on, so definitely something to enjoy. Always good, as is the Tennessee Medieval Fair in Harriman, Tennessee. So, definitely fun. Oh man, and now you're talking about parroting the song. Oh, I could do that, and that sounds like a good idea. And now, wow, yes, I probably could. Oh, now I know what I'm going to be thinking all tonight. Okay, well, back to fairs. Okay. Then there's the King Richard's Fair in Carver, Massachusetts, and the Connecticut Renaissance Fair in Lebanon, Connecticut. And, of course, the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair and the Pittsburgh Renaissance Festival, both in Pennsylvania and Mannheim and West Newton, respectively. And, then we have the Ohio Renaissance Festival in Waynesville, and we added the Days of Nights Night spelled with a K-N, by the way, in Lancaster, Ohio. So, okay, fine, challenge accepted. Gosh, you guys are just evil, making me do more work. When I say making, I mean twisting my arm, because this is, yeah, stuff I'd like to do anyway. But I'll check on that. I'll work on that. See if I can come up with anything. I just need the right angle. Okay, so then we have the Grand Valley Renaissance Festival in Allendale, Michigan, which, yeah, is a college-run one, which always is fun when the colleges get involved in Renaissance fairs. Sometimes you get some really fun events with a much younger crowd than you normally get at Ren fairs. So always nice to get them while they're young. And then in Wisconsin, a small fair, a gathering of ruffians and rogues in Baraboo, Wisconsin. Love it. Always fun names. Always a good time. Okay, then we get, let's see. Well, of course, yeah, then we have the St. Louis Ren Fair and the Kansas City Renaissance Fair in Missouri and Kansas. So that is always good. And the Iowa Renaissance Festival in Amana Colonies, Iowa. Now, what we added new here is some interesting ones. The Heavener Runestone Renaissance Festival and Steampunk Fair. That's a mouthful. In Heavener, Oklahoma. So that is an interesting one. And then, of course, the large one, the Texas Renaissance Festival out in Texas, just northwest of Houston, in officially Todd Mission, Texas. And you're right. Alicia's talking about the Norman Medieval Fair, which is run by a university. There are several that are run by universities. I mean, I always respect that. Is it Heavener? No, it's Heavener, right? Well, whichever. It's Oklahoma, so either it works there. Okay. Yeah, I said it. Let's see. Then we have... then we go over to the Idaho Renaissance Fair in Kuna, Idaho. And then we jump over to California, where we get the Northern California Renaissance Fair in Hollister, California. So which brings us to 18. That's right, 18 different fairs. Oh, and he's saying that the Texas Renaissance Festival dress rehearsal had 1,000% humidity. Well, it's outside of Houston. I mean, that's where I grew up. I grew up outside of Houston, and it was, yeah. I mean, people say, "Oh, humidity, it's so bad," and I'm like, "This isn't humidity. Come on." I mean, this is that was my whole childhood. So it never. It's something great if you can get used to it, because you never get bothered by it again. Oh, and Nancy says that friend of hers is not sure how it's pronounced either. Well, it's named after the town where it is. So I guess it's however the town is pronounced. So it's not actually a word that means anything in particular with the, it's not a word that means like a type of thing. It's actually the town. So yes, that's always makes it a. Oh, okay, Longy. Oh yeah, start dissolving into the air at 1,000% humidity. Definitely. Okay. So yes, there we go with the 18 fairs going on this weekend. Hope you like them. That's always fun. It's always fun. No, Damaris is right. You do not dissolve at that level. It's you would think so. No, and no. So yes, that is always a fun thing, and let's just say you dress a little differently. I think that's fair, right? Yeah, that's a fair thing to say. Dress a little differently, most assuredly. Okay, so I was trying to think of a good 7 reasons for tonight, and I had one in mind. I always try to come up with some good stuff earlier in the week, but from last week anyway. But yeah, I was thinking about it, and I was kind of debating between 2 different ones I'd thought of, And then this Facebook thing started today. So I scrapped everything and jumped on at the last minute and wrote up a new 7 reasons. So what we have is the 7 reasons the Facebook outage today was a good thing. I know. So yes, sure to side, 7 reasons why the Facebook outage was a good thing. So here we go. I know you're already thinking, well, of course it was a good thing, but leave Facebook bashing aside. Not that. Going to avoid that. 7 reasons not to use your alligator as a cannon. Okay, maybe next week. Yeah. Animal rights people alone. So yeah, we'll think about that. So number 7, the 7th reason that Facebook outage was a good thing today. Here we go. Everyone had one less excuse to procrastinate. That's right. So hopefully everybody got more stuff done today and were quite more productive than they usually are because of the outage. You know, all those projects you put on the side that you didn't think you had time to finish today, hopefully you got some done. I know I did. Of course, while I was stressing about, am I going to have a show tonight? But other than that, I did get some stuff done, so that was good. Number 6. It caused you to look at alternatives to Facebook and all the others, and WhatsApp and Instagram, and people were looking at their Oculus devices and saying, you know, maybe I should have got the other one. I mean, you're looking at alternatives that you might have missed because Facebook does have a bit of a monopoly in many ways now. Not an absolute monopoly or anything, but definitely a practical monopoly in some ways. So yeah, I mean, it caused you to look around, and that's never a bad thing. Yeah, share your Twitter accounts. Nice. Yeah, because Twitter was still working, I believe. Number 5. And you know, we appreciate our friends more when they go away, right? Because you never know how important something is until it's gone. So all of a sudden, you know, all of these contacts you had, can't talk to them, can't check in. You know, you're just like, I never called this person. What do I do? Yes. So always good. Always good. So, yeah. So you appreciate it more. You appreciate what you have. And that's never a bad thing. Never a bad thing. Number 4. It caused us to update everyone's contact info. Just like you're doing now with Twitter, right? That's yes. Because all of a sudden you realize, you know, this person, I only talk to them through Facebook. I need to get their phone number. So you find their LinkedIn or just do whatever and get their information however you can. Yes, Nancy, exactly. How can I miss you if you never leave? Exactly. So yeah, cause us to update everybody's contact info. So now we probably have even more contacts in our phones. So never a bad thing. Number 3. I called my parents and checked in, right? And I was really happy I did, and I'm sure they were happy too. Yeah, this afternoon I checked in with them, called and said, hey guys, how's it going? And so, yeah, that's always a good thing. So hopefully you did that too, and if you didn't, well, put that on your list for tomorrow. Number 2. You remembered that you still owned books. Now, I'm sure for most of us at because of Faire, we never forget that. But for a lot of people, I think that was a big deal. It's like, you know, gosh, I can't really do a lot of the stuff I do online. You know, there's this stack of books I've been meaning to read. You know, I think I'll read a book this afternoon. Hopefully somebody did that. I'm optimistic. Maybe I'm just old school because of Faire. I don't know. But that's what I'm hoping. Okay. Number 1. And actually went outside and saw the sun. I know for some people that's not a big deal, but I don't have any windows in my room. There are no windows here. So when I'm working, I don't know if it's, you know, dark, if it's cloudy or what until I go outside. So I went outside for a while and it was nice. It was nice. You can go outside, get some vitamin D. Ah, yeah. Nice. The hate orb. Oh, I'm stealing that. That is a good one. That is a really good one. Yes, the hate orb. I like that. Oh, you took a walk during your lunch. That's great. And saw a bunny. Very nice. And like I said, with people here at Faire, the outdoors are not as much of a scary thing, and you like to embrace that whenever you can. But I think for the general populace, I would wager a bet that at least some of them went outside one more time than they would have if Facebook had been up all day. Just saying. Oh, went out and visited in person. That's a very good thing. Evil day moon? Wow. I'm getting the feeling that there's a lot of night owls among you. Yeah. Oh, actually, my room. Well, the stone wall behind me. That's really cool. That's what really makes the room. Right, Kathy? Yeah. The definite non-digital book is always a good thing. Always appreciated. Ah, the night shift. That's yeah. You know, I'm actually a morning person, but being a musician for so long, it's kind of tough because I ended up doing shows like a pub show till 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. sometimes, and it really messed it up a little bit for me. So I'm actually in anything. I can stay up late. I can wake up early. It really it doesn't matter. So I guess in some ways that's helped, but I'm not really on a schedule, so that's hurt a bit. Makes it a little tougher. Definitely a little more difficult. Yeah, I like the sun. My favorite time of day is early morning, first thing. I mean, not right when the sun's rising, but right after it comes up. I mean, it's up and you can see it, but the dew on the grass and everything, oh, it's just that smell, that clean morning smell. I love it. I love it. It is my favorite time of day, definitely. Yes, I agree. The whole digital versus physical book. I mean, it's I like it in that it saves paper. I think that's kind of nice, but it saves trees. But in general, yeah, it's tough. Early on, ebooks the quality was but they have been getting better. So hopefully that will continue, and it's not too bad. It's not too bad. And yeah, the smell of a classic old book, yeah, those are really great. Yeah, and I agree. I think that's the best way to look at it. Don't look at digital as replacing books. Look at it as a coexistence. Because I think there are still going to be things that are going to be easier to read or to follow or use as a reference when it's not digital. And I don't think printed work is going to completely disappear, at least not anytime soon. Maybe at some point when even digital books aren't a thing, it just gets beamed right into our brains, then maybe it'll go away. But that's going to be long past my time, and I'm okay with that. And Janine, I totally agree. I think that when you get tired of looking at the computer, a physical book can be really nice. Yeah, one of my favorite memories was being at a beach house when I was a kid and reading, going through a bunch of books that I'd held on to throughout the year and just reading through them one at a time and relaxing. That is one of the most relaxing moments I've ever had. Definitely nice. But yeah. Excellent. Well, okay. I guess. Oh, and I hit 30 minutes exactly. Yes. I'm trying to get better at that after the last few episodes where I went way over, and I'm trying not to do that. So try to keep it at 30. But yeah, thanks guys. Always a pleasure. And I can't wait to see you next week and see how your week's been and let you know how mine has. So have a good one. Enjoy. And always, as always, have a fair life. Take care.